Justin Bieber leaves fans confused after he posts 13 pictures of seemingly random babies with the caption "Yummy" on his Instagram. I take it you know what that means. He eats babies. After terrifying them first of all, drinking the blood for the adrenochrome, then he'll eat the baby. He's one of them dirty, filthy bastards. The earth isn't dying. It's being killed, and those who are killing it have names and addresses. And one of them, of course, is Justin Bieber. This is Tom Hanks' son. Interesting tattoo choice. What signature colours mean? Now you must also take into consideration that the colour that you sign your appellation in or generic instrument and presentations on is a very significant procedure. I'm trying to give you as much as I can so that this can be your guidebook on sovereignty in addition to all of the other relevant toms. Red ink denotes the fact that the flesh and blood, organic, living soul, real man is speaking and his actuality is in conformity with the common law. This is the creditor principle. Purple denotes the fact that a sovereign is speaking, creator and follower of their own law in conveying the message. Blue reflects the debtor, corporate fiction, legal person or straw man is conveying the message of correspondence with admiralty equity. Black denotes death and signing in the colour. This colour represents the fact that a dead entity is signing and is one of the same as the debtor. Worst blowjob ever. Who's really behind America targeting Iran? I've no idea, or I'll be anti-Semitic. This was in a paper. Notice of intent. County of Los Angeles Department of Public Works hereby gives notice of an intention to conduct a weather modification program. But Mark, they don't do anything like that. They're not chemtrails. That's just where it's just geoengineering. It's nothing bad. Former Marine and Gulf War veteran Ken O'Keefe. What do we do when we go and fight Israeli wars? We blow to the Jewish supremacists, Talmudic satanic paedophile banksters cult that is the Israeli power structure which runs America. So we are Americans are going to be used for another war for Israel. If we allow it, American sons and daughters are going to be sacrificed yet again. 22 American service members are already committing suicide daily because of the Israeli wars they have fought. Meaning of the word sir. You call everybody by title sir. You know what it meant by the word sir. Slave I remain, sir, S-I-R. The British, during their rule, wanted all Indians to address them as sir. Even after 69 years of independence, we still keep calling everyone sir. Even American president is addressed Mr. President, not sir. Many people do not know the real meaning of the word that think it is an address with respect. Frankly, even I also didn't know it. Spread this message fast. How intelligently they rule and how foolishly we are. Still going on their ways. Stop calling anyone sir. New Clop ransomware encrypts window process. Researchers have spotted new ransomware with a nasty new twist. Clop, as it's called, doesn't just encrypt files, but deliberately attempts to screw up applications as well. The more is most likely intended to reduce the chances of the ransomware being blocked, but also means an attack could be even more destructive and make it more like a complete rebuild of the affected PC is necessary. Normally, ransomware main task is to encrypt as many files as possible on the computer. The idea for an attacker is to find a victim that has the money to pay the ransom, but doesn't have the capability to protect themselves against attackers or have suitable backups. The problem is that ransomware culprits often rely on the blanket distribution of malware, which means non-targeted users end up getting caught in the attack. We're all leaving, aren't you? We're leaving the EU, aren't we? EU's Barnier says a year not enough to agree full deal with UK. Wait a minute. Over 4 years ago now, we voted we wanted out, and we still haven't got it. Can we see we are never getting it? A comprehensive agreement on the future relationship between the European Union and Britain will take longer than 11 months transition period that begins when the UK leaves the EU on January 31st. Not going to happen. The EU's chief negotiator said on Thursday. After Brexit, the two sides will have until the end of the year to negotiate a new trade relationship, a short period given to complexity to the discussions. Bullshit! We want out, which means out, not staying in for another year. The negotiations are likely to be tough. How about we repeal the 72 Act and we're out? We repeal the Lisbon Treaty and we're out. We repeal all the other treasonous treaties that our treasonous politicians have tied us into and we're out. The negotiations are like to be tough, especially as the EU says that across to the single market will be proportional to how closely Britain sticks to EU rules. In other words, we are not leaving. Queen summons royal family for emergency meeting. This is happening very quickly. This has moved from shock and a range of emotions to something more constructive, a source tells People. Queen Elizabeth is calling for an emergency meeting in the wake of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's shocking announcement that they plan to step back as senior members of the royal family. The Queen, Prince Charles and Prince William have united to tell their officers to work at peace, to find a solution to Meghan and Harry's desire to step away from the frontline royal work. They have asked their team to work with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex office and governments on both sides of the Atlantic on the issue. The Queen and the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Cambridge have directed their teams to work at peace with governments and Sussex's office to find workable solutions, and this is expected to take days, not weeks, a royal source tells People. It's clear that the monarch 93 wants to get the conclusion quickly. This has moved from a shock and range of emotions to something more constructive, the source adds. It is complicated. No, it's not. This is happening very quickly, and the proof that is that in the fact that this will take days and not weeks. It's a masterclass in waiting to have your cake and eat it. Furious Buckingham Palace aides turn on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle after they stunned the Queen by pressing the nuclear button and quitting the royal family. See, they're going to self-destruct because they know the game's up. Royal family deeply disappointed, as senior sources says the household is shocked and downright furious. Exasperate aide claims that people bent over backwards to give Harry and Meghan what they wanted. Devastated Windsors are still keen to support the couple despite being kept in the dark on their departure. Duke and Duchess announced they will carve out a progressive role in a message in social media. The personal statement surfaced without any discussion between the Sussex and the rest of the family. The royal insider slammed the announcement as a shoddy and unfair way to treat Her Majesty last night. Harry and Meghan have today been blasted by aides who claim the royal family bent over backwards for them since they got together in 2016, only for the rebel couple to quit anyway without consulting the Queen, Prince Charles and Prince William. Their dramatic decision has been taken without the knowledge of the family, who lent about the announcement as it broke on television news channels last night. The couple, who planned to split their time between Britain and North America, pressed the nuclear button and made the bombshell announcement just days after returning from a 6-week break in Canada. One exasperated aide said people had bent over backwards for them. They were given the wedding they wanted, the house they wanted, the office they wanted, the money they wanted, the staff they wanted, the tours they wanted, and had the backing of the family. What more did they want? Indian woman rises from the dead during funeral preparations after apparent misdiagnosis. A woman in southwestern India succumbed to a high fever, lost consciousness and was rushed to hospital for emergency treatment. Doctors tried and failed to save her life, or so they thought. Malati Chongolya, 55, of Munch Chandi village in Karnataka, India, was reportedly admitted to the private hospital in Belgravia on Wednesday morning by concerned family members. The medical team then tried to revive her all morning, but she was pronounced dead by noon, having apparently succumbed to a high fever. George Galloway makes bombshell Macron prediction as millions rage against French leader. George Galloway has predicted that Emmanuel Macron will soon be history as the French president struggles to hold on to power amid record-breaking protests against his rule. The record-breaking protests taking to the streets of France could soon topple Emmanuel Macron amid growing fury at the French president. Former MP George Galloway made the astonishing prediction, remarking that the ongoing protests were far more serious than the Yellow Vest protests that have dominated the country for the past year. The French unions are on the streets of Paris and other cities and towns across the country, upset that Macron planned pension reform. Speaking to RT, Mr. Galloway said, "This is much more serious than the Yellow Vest protests. Those who were largely the most militant of protesters, hundreds of thousands of them, but the protests you are seeing now are in their millions. They are not activists. They are white and blue collar workers and families." Hopefully it will be the end for Macron. The scum. Booking from form and token in 4-page pullout. Great. Civil war as Harry and Meg quit the royals. Queen sad, Charles and Will's furious. Meg exit. Telegraph. Harry and Meghan quit the firm. That's a more appropriate message there, because that's what they are. They're a mafia. Iran under pressure to explain Tehran plane crash. The Times. Harry and Meghan quit royals amid palace split. You see, they know the end is here, and these are just trying to make a quick get out, and hopefully they'll survive. That's what they're thinking. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. Upset Duke and Duchess step back as senior royals. Queen was not told before announcement made. NATO agrees to give Trump more support in Middle East. Healthy habits pay off. Rape campaign failed. EU rejects deadline. Pipeline defies US 386 million mine more. Anderson's injured. Metro. Trump. Iran stood down. Jet crash Brit had just wed. London couple among 176 killed. Harry and Meghan, we quit. They step back as senior royals without telling Queen. The parasites are starting to panic. It was always going to happen. It's just a matter of when. The Guardian. Harry and Meghan to step back as senior royals. An announcement follows complaints of media bullying and smears. We intend to work to become financially independent while continuing to fully support the Queen. Trump edges away from war after Iran retaliation. 176 killed. Daily Fail. Royal bombshell special issue. Sussex dramatically stepped down as senior royals without telling Her Majesty, Charles or William. Queen's fury as Harry and Meghan say, we quit. We're doing a runner. We've had enough. We can see the end in sight, so we're trying to get out before the shit hits the fan, basically. Mirror. Helen's killer free in weeks. Royal sensation. They didn't even tell the Queen. Palace only discover Harry and Meg quitting after a pair release statement. Trump backs down from new Iran confrontation. Carl Starmer ahead in racing to lead Labour. Who cares? Tributes to British passengers on Duran-Jet. Prince quits. Duke of Sussex resigns his role as frontline royal. Search for privacy is motivation for new life in North America. Couple will try to become financially independent of Queen. Monarchy is facing most turbulent time since 1936 abdication. Reveals relatives hurt and not consulted. Diane Morgan, jog on running is bad for you. 22 people a month losing their sight because of NHS delays or because of the LEDs that they're now fitting in the lights. No fault divorce will take longer with the EU. Yeah, of course it will, because we're not leaving. Your country is burning, a climate scientist writes from his holiday. Express. Royal family bombshell. Queen dismay and Harry and Meghan step back from royal life. Palace disappointed over shock announcement to quit senior royals. Utter waste of paper. Was jet shot down. Let's see if we can make it. Oh, blame it on the Russians, no doubt. Crusty crusade. Pond life. Boffins say quit meat and eat algae to save planet. The royal formerly known as Prince. FT. Fly or fight. Goshen explains Tokyo escape. Trump steps back from brink with measured reaction to Iran strikes. Royal couple pull out of public eye in search of financial independence. Nothing to see here, just the Queen carrying out routine maintenance on Meghan's car. When you blame Australian fires on climate change and 24 people get arrested for starting the blaze. A man tells his doctor, "Doc, help me, I'm addicted to Twitter." The doctor replies, "Sorry, I don't follow you." What did the left eye say to the right eye? Between you and me, something smells. Why aren't koalas actual bears? They don't meet the qualifications. What did the shark say when he ate the clownfish? This tastes a little funny. Why do we tell actors to break a leg? Because every play has a cast.